A Nintendo Switch 2 price hike. Steam has commented or actually changed some verbiage around AI usage on their Steam store. And also a really unbelievable game got dropped into a Game Pass. So if you are a Game Pass member, we're going to cover that here in the news as well. So stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Handheld Rewind, a handheld gaming podcast. This is episode 4 of the Handheld Rewind podcast. If this is your first time here, hey, thanks for checking out the show. We do weekly gaming handheld news, and we cover, kind of everything from Nintendo Switch 2 all the way to the Xbox ROG Ally, all of that kind of stuff. And then we get into the nitty gritty stuff too, like your AYN Thors, your Ayaneos, all that kind of stuff. So if you're into handheld gaming news stuff, definitely stick around. This is a weekly show, so we will be delivering you the news every single week. I'm your host, Blame It On Ryan. So again, if this is your first time here, hey, that subscribe button would be absolutely amazing. We've been really pushing hard to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, so that way YouTube can help support the channel like you guys are already doing. You can become a member of the show if you like. Definitely don't have to do that, but it does definitely help support more episodes coming. So if you'd like to become a member, you can do that down below as well. And you get the basically every video, including the podcast, early. If you would like to listen on your podcast of choice, you can do so every Monday on basically like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything like that. Of course, the podcast version is available in the YouTube Music app right away on Friday, so it's dropping with the video version as well. So if you are watching the video, definitely thank you. That's the other best way to support the show right now before we are able to generate ad revenue. So hey, that's all the housekeeping stuff out of the way today. Okay, so before we jump into the news here, hey, what's going on in your guys' world? I think I don't remember if it's episode 2 or 3, we were recording right after, we had like a tornado threat, which in the middle of January is absolutely crazy here in Oklahoma. We're used to them pretty much year round anymore, so that kind of sucked. But now we're recording this show in the face of not a blizzard, but just torrential snowfall supposedly coming. They have no idea what's coming. It could be 6 inches, it could be 12 inches, it could be 16 inches. And what's really funny about the news people down here, and I've lived in Oklahoma my whole life, spent most of my life in Tulsa. And Tulsa, the news people are just very serious, and they try to give you like very accurate information. But these newscasters in Oklahoma City area, it's about entertainment for them, I think, because they are like out here just like scaring the bejesus out of people. They're like, oh, this Euro model, it's got 26 inches of snow coming this weekend. And it's like, come on. I mean, you know that's not going to happen. Give us a break already. So yeah, that's a whole lot of fun. So that's what we got going on here in Oklahoma right now. We've got, kind of a big snowstorm coming. And of course it kind of sucks for me. It's coming on, right around my daughter's birthday party that was coming up. So I don't know if that's going to get snowed out or what. So that kind of stinks, but either way, we will definitely celebrate her birthday this weekend. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And, hey, you guys are here for the news. That's just my kind of little, what's going on with me right now. And let's jump into the first story of the week. This one comes to us from Michael Larabelle over at Foronix. With Linux 6.19-RC6 kernel release due out later today, there will be a number of sound fixes and workarounds to note from the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X gaming handheld to several newer laptops seeing fixes for their audio support. The problems had included gaps in audio playback and other audio quality issues when running Linux on this Microsoft Windows-focused ROG Xbox Ally X gaming handheld. So apparently this has been a problem. Now, I really hadn't had too many issues with the Xbox ROG Ally or the Ally X whenever I had them. Those are now both have been sent back, so I did not get to test out this update at all. But the audio was totally fine for me. I actually thought the audio was great because the front firing speakers are really incredible. I do use AirPods via Bluetooth a lot too, and I didn't have really any problems with those either. So I'm not sure. Did you guys that there's a lot of you guys on the channel that do have the Xbox RG Ally and Ally X, or we're thinking about getting one, probably have maybe gotten one now. Did you guys have any of these issues with the sound? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you're a podcast listener, of course, you can write into the show at Blame.Games.HR@gmail.com. We definitely would like to hear about your experiences with the Xbox RG Ally and Ally X, because I'm telling you, I really have not had any problems with mine at all. I think they've run totally great, especially with the audio. I think the audio was incredible. I mean, it's definitely some of the best speakers that I've seen on a handheld. So, yeah, let me know about your experience. But for me, I think this was not that big of a deal. But it seems like if you check forums and stuff, it did affect quite a few people. So I think there's going to be a lot of people to be happy to get this update. From Eddie McCook. I'm going to guess that's how you say that name. If I did not get your name correct, I apologize. Over at GameSpot, and he writes, after Nintendo warned it might happen, one analyst is now predicting that the Nintendo Switch 2 will see a global price hike in 2026. Daniel Ahmad of Nico Partners said the Switch 2 will follow the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S with its own price hike this year, due in part to tariffs, increased memory costs, and broader economic conditions. So if you want to switch to, they're available everywhere now. They're not hard to get. I would say go ahead and probably jump on it. If you're saving up for one, don't force yourself into a situation where you can't afford one, because I would expect the price hike to, maybe be $50, something like that. So it goes from $449 to $499 here in the US. So, this is certainly news, and, the Switch 2 was already, I think, more expensive than a lot of us were expecting or wanting. But I think for the most part, I think $499 is still going to be, it's still expensive. Don't get me wrong, especially for a Switch 2. That's more expensive than the PlayStation 5 is still currently going for, which I think that's on sale for $399 right now. But I just don't, I don't think this is going to be a huge price hike. I think Nintendo is very aware of the kind of the economic conditions and people spending right now. This holiday season was like one of the absolutely worst sales for console hardware on record. And I think it was over 25 years. So pretty bad on the hardware sales right now. Of course, Xbox is a big culprit in that game. Switch 2 and PlayStation are still doing much better in that regard. But, raising prices in really tough economic conditions is not generally a good way to sell more consoles. It kind of makes you wonder, it used to be that these companies would look at these consoles as the loss leader. Like they would sell the consoles at a loss or right at cost, often below cost. Famously, the PS3 was losing hundreds of dollars when it first came out, because they make up, 30% rips on every game that they sell through their store. So it's totally worth it for them to get more and more and more consoles out there. So it kind of makes me wonder, at what point is going to be the breaking point where, they keep raising the prices to the point where people just can't even afford to buy the consoles anymore. And now you're potentially losing tens of millions of additional customers that are no longer buying games on your store. I don't know, man. I do think this price increase is coming. I think it's kind of inevitable. I look for it to be probably $499. I think if they go $549, I think that's disastrous for console sales. Not that it's not going to still sell, but I think it's going to really kind of hamper its upward trajectory. I don't think it's going to basically kind of slow down compared to what it was doing to the Switch 1. That's just kind of my thoughts on it. So if you're in the market for a Switch 2 and you've got the money, or you've been saving up and you're close, I would say go ahead and get it before this happens. But again, if you're kind of, been saving up and you're you're going to try to like stretch, maybe I'll, stretch out this rent payment an extra week so I can go and buy this now. Like, I wouldn't do that. Definitely wouldn't do that. But yeah, what do you guys think about this Switch 2 price increase? Do you think $50 is going to hurt console sales? Do you think $100 increase is out of the question? Because right now, I mean, who really knows? The storage, the RAM, all of these prices are just up in the air right now and just kind of getting ridiculous. So we're just going to kind of have to wait and see. But all right, so let's go ahead and move on to news story number 3 for the week. And this one comes to us from Habib over at Notebook Check. I think this is like your 3rd week in a row getting on the show. So really good job over there, Habib. And so let's go ahead and jump into what he has to say about the Ayaneo Konkr Fit, which was just announced. So Habib says, Ayaneo has announced the Konkr Fit as its 2nd handheld under the Konkr brand. And unlike the Pocket Fit, this will run Windows out of the box. The Konkr Fit isn't just a Windows version of the Konkr Pocket Fit, but a different handheld altogether. While the overall design has largely remained unchanged, there are some key differences. For starters, it is larger thanks to having a 7-inch OLED display, unlike the 6-inch LCD display of the Pocket Fit. The larger display seems to be the reason why Ayaneo decided to not include Pocket in its name. Ayaneo has also revealed that the Konkr Fit will be powered by an AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX 470 processor, and it will draw juice from a plenty large 80 watt-hour battery. So here we go, Ayaneo. We talked about them last week with their whole, apology and their strategy here for the coming year. Trying to really stop announcing new devices and focus on getting all of their stuff out the door. Well, here they are announcing a new device. So way to go, Ayaneo. 1 week after your a little apology letter, here you are with a new device. So whatever, I think that's totally fine. Are you guys excited about this particular handheld? They didn't really announce too many other details about it, and we don't know pricing on it. So it's getting an inch bigger screen. It's getting OLED. Obviously, the price is going to be higher. A lot of these niche devices aren't the most interesting for me, but I know a lot of people like these smaller, more pocketable devices that are that really focus on the like portability over like ergonomics and things like that. So let me know what you guys think. Write into the show or leave me a comment on the video. I'm super interested to hear if you guys are excited about this. I think any device that's coming out with an OLED screen is definitely going to be desired by a pretty big portion of the audience. So I definitely wanted to cover the announcement here for you guys. But I really don't have too much to say other than that. I have no plans on covering it here on the channel, and unless Ayaneo happens to be watching the content and they would like to send something over for review, I'm always available to do that. So hey, get in touch, Blame.Games.HR@gmail.com if you would like to get in touch with me. And with that, we will move on to the 4th story of the day. Okay, this one comes to us from Matt Horn over at Android Authority, and he says, TrimUI has teased the Brick Pro, a Gameboy-style vertical handheld that builds on the original Brick design. The company has confirmed a larger 4-inch display and the addition of dual analog sticks. A 2026 release window is provided, but specs, pricing, and performance remain unknown. So here we go again with another kind of Game Boy clone. And man, there is a ton of these out there. And I'm not going to lie, like some of these do kind of interest me. I really like the ones that look like ultra premium. There's that one that is by that, what's his name? Palmer Luckey, the one that makes all the, like all the bombs and stuff like that. His company, I forget what that one's called off the top of my head. I apologize. You can berate me in the comments down below. Let me know what that is. But they have a Game Boy, I think it's called Chromatic something or other. And that one I really like too because it looks very much like a Game Boy, like in all forms and facets of it. So that one does look appealing to me. But you guys know, I already told you guys on the show that I ordered the AYN Thor, which is kind of the dual screen clamshell DS type of device. So I think I'm going to do like playing retro games and stuff like that probably on that one versus trying to have, a Game Boy one and a DS one and, whatever. It's nice to have all those things, but I definitely don't need to have all those things. So we'll say that much. But hey, are you guys excited about the Brick Pro? I think that's a funny name. I mean, hey, I'm going to get me a Brick Pro. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next story. And this one comes to us from Joe White over at retrohandhelds.gg. And Joe writes, with eyes on AYN's latest flagship gaming console as orders are being received, there are already reports and concerns regarding the Odin 3's RAM. Reddit user Long Lost Friend reported that Odin 3 users are receiving units with significantly slower RAM than was advertised. With the recent pricing update on the Thor and the growing cost of RAM worldwide, it is expected that more and more devices will be impacted by either raising the price or by using cheaper components. If true, as reported, that means the Odin 3 will be using RAM that is as much as 1,000 megahertz slower than initially advertised. Now, this story also got an update from whenever I put it into the show. So rather than talking about this before we get into the update, I think it makes sense. Let's go ahead and get into the update for this real quick. This article was updated by Andrew at retrohandhelds.gg. And this is pretty long, so we'll go ahead and get into this real quick as well. Okay, so Andrew says, Nicole from AYN explains that all 4 Odin 3 models ship with the same type of RAM, clocked at 4266 megahertz, 8333 megabits per second. It's good to know that information for the future reference, even if it might not have been the answer you were looking for. Of course, it would have been awesome if the Odin 3 was equipped with faster RAM, but there are a lot of variables at play. Which leads me to the transparent part. In the opening of this section, Nicole goes on to say the possibility of using 9600 memory in the future cannot be ruled out. Basically, this tells me there's a chance AYN could pivot to faster RAM in the Odin 3 down the line. Ultimately, it will all be determined by the overall market, which is currently extremely volatile, and it doesn't seem like it will be getting better anytime soon. So this story kind of ended up being kind of much ado about nothing. But there was a big hullabaloo on some of the forums, Reddit, stuff like that. So I did want to cover that on the show. So if you if you ordered an Odin 3 and you were worried about that, here you kind of they took your concern and gave you a pretty transparent answer. And hey, if you're not happy with that answer, then you can always cancel, get a refund, whatever. But I don't think this is too big of a deal. But if they were advertising one speed of RAM and they're shipping something else, then that is a big problem. That could actually be really bad news for the company too, especially in different markets. Here in the US, that would probably be false advertising concern. But again, I'm not in the order pool for the Odin 3, so this doesn't affect me, but it might affect some of you guys. So if it does, and if you have an opinion on it, I would love to hear that. So please drop that in the comments of the show, or if you would like, you can write into the email Blame.Games.HR at gmail.com. The HR, of course, Handheld Rewind, the show you're watching right now. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the next story for the day. And this is story number 6 today. And this one also comes from Habib. 2 times in one show, Habib. 2 times. Pretty good, Habib. He says, it has been 2 years since Hyperkin unveiled the Mega 95 handheld designed to play Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive cartridges, but it has yet to release the device to the market. After several months of radio silence, Hyperkin has provided an update about the Mega 95's development. According to a post on X, Hyperkin says that it has finalized the hardware part, but is facing delays due to software. Apparently, there are issues with the current build of software regarding translating game graphics. Some of the issues are visual artifacts and occasional tearing. Hyperkin says it has been trying to resolve the issues for months, hence the delay. On the bright side, it says the new software build will be available for testing soon, and if the visuals are perfect, mass production will begin. So the Hyperkin Mega 95 handheld, is that one that you guys have ordered or are waiting for? I think this is actually a good thing. If the software and stuff's not ready to go, I'd rather them wait instead of shipping a product and that has issues with the graphics and with screen tearing, stuff like that. There's nothing worse than screen tearing, so I definitely don't want anything to do with that. So if I'm on that order list, if I pre-ordered it or if I've been waiting for it, to me, this is totally fine. Hey, get the software right, get the hardware right, ship me a complete product, and I'm a happy camper. So I think this is actually a good thing, and this is one of these smaller handheld makers, I think, doing the right thing instead of just trying to ship them out and fix it later, which is what many of us in the gaming community are used to, especially from games themselves. We get if you buy games at launch, you know what I'm talking about. But even with hardware, it happens a lot with hardware too, especially with a lot of these smaller handheld makers. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next story here. And this one is about Steam, and this comes to us from Simon Carless over at Game Discover Co. Interestingly, Steam just rewrote, but did not remove its "Does your game have AI in it?" dev disclosure form. Valve's making it clear the AI-powered tools like code helpers do not need citing. Efficiency gains through the use of AI, powered by dev tools, is not the focus of this section. Okay, so this is a super hot topic, obviously, in not just the gaming industry, but pretty much the world at large, everything with AI, obviously, and everybody kind of feels a different way about it. And, from basically what I take out of this from Steam is that they are concerned more with people using generative AI for art assets and things like that. They're not so concerned with if you're using AI tools to write code or fix code, or maybe you've got some kind of AI bot that will QC the game or whatever. Seems to me like they're fine with quote unquote efficiency tools, things that can help get games out faster, not necessarily anything that has to do with generative AI. And it is interesting because if you are standing on that pole, right, where you're like, no generative AI art, that's, these models are basically trained by stealing, art that exists in the world and whatever. You could make the same argument for code. I mean, who wrote code? We wrote code. Human beings wrote code. Human beings edit code. So you can make the same thing of like, well, they're just stealing the code that we wrote. I don't know. I'm not the one to really make the argument one way or the other. But I guess I do like that if a developer is going to use AI generated art or graphics in a game, I would like to know that, because that might affect my purchasing decision. But at the end of the day, I think transparency is the best thing, right? So, if you want to make AI slop games, graphics, code, whatever, and you want to put it out into the world, fine. Just disclose it, be transparent about it, let us know what we're going to be buying, and I think there's no real problem with it either way. But what do you guys think about AI? This is probably the topic that can light up the comment section. So, and I'm actually really curious because you see chatter here and there, different corners of the internet and Twitter and Reddit and whatever. But I'm really curious about those of you in this community, handheld gaming enthusiasts. What do you guys think about AI? Is there a line that you will draw? Is there no lines that AI is going to cross for you? I really would like to hear from you guys. So please drop a comment on the video, let me know. Or also, if you would like to write into the show and get read on next week's episode, you can definitely do that. You can do that in the comments, or you can also do that at the email address if you prefer, Blame.Games.HR at gmail.com. And with that, we will go ahead and move on to the next story. And this is not really super big news, but this is just something that excites me because like I'm a huge fan of the game. And if you've watched the channel for a while, you already know it's Death Stranding, baby. Death Stranding is coming to Xbox Game Pass with Play Anywhere. So us handheld PC guys, we can play it on our Xbox ROG Allies, our Legion Goes, whatever we want to play it on. So this is super exciting and kind of gives me another opportunity if I wanted to make a third completionist run. I already got the platinum twice from Death Stranding 1 on PlayStation. I just adore the game. I think it's absolutely incredible. I just never get sick of it. I absolutely love it. And if you have looked into Death Stranding and you think it's weird, I'm just going to tell you, I did too at first. And I tried to play the game probably 3 or 4 times from the time it released until I think it was this past year. So yeah, it was 2025 January. I was like, okay, Death Stranding 2 is coming out. Let me try it again. And it was probably the 4th or 5th time I tried, started completely from scratch. And I forced myself. I was like, I'm just going to give it a real chance. I'm just going to like let the game tell me what it's doing. Let me just play the experience it's going to provide. And I just totally fell in love with the gameplay loop. I think the story and the world are, definitely interesting. And, Kojima and the characters that he creates are super wacky and campy and just absolutely just really great character work in the game. And the gameplay loop, the making deliveries, it sounds so stupid, but man, it is absolutely just totally addicting, totally satisfying. There's nothing better than making a delivery and getting your, triple S ranks. It's just absolutely awesome. Adore it. So let me go ahead and get into the story here. And this one comes to us from Sam over at Insider Gaming. And Sam says, the Wave 2 titles for Xbox Game Pass January 2026 have been revealed, and Death Stranding Director's Cut will be available to play from January 21st. So again, Death Stranding coming to Xbox Game Pass on January 21st, along with a few other games. It will be a Play Anywhere title, and they did recently fix the save bug issue across the Xbox platform. So you are good to go if you're waiting for that. So that's absolutely awesome. I haven't seen anything on GeForce Now. I really would love for this game to get in GeForce Now. That would be awesome because when it was published by, it was originally published, I think it was, 505 Games or something, but it was the original version of the game was on the GeForce Now, but the director's cut, which was published by 505 Games, never hit GeForce Now for whatever reason. They didn't want it on there. I don't know. But I guess maybe the publishing rights have shifted around again. So now we have the Xbox Play Anywhere. It's in Game Pass. So hopefully they check the box for GeForce Now. That'd be super cool. But I did not see anything about that specifically here other than Play Anywhere, which is awesome. I love Play Anywhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the last news story of the day. And this one comes to us from YCry over at videocards.com. And just a good old-fashioned username, no real name on this one, so that's funny. I like that name, YCry. Awesome. And YCry writes, GDP Win 5 is a Windows handheld PC with integrated game controls and a 7-inch 1080p 120Hz display. It is built around AMD's Ryzen AI Max platform, Strix Halo, paired with Radeon's 8060S or 8050S graphics, depending on the configuration. There's definitely some work to be done. In the same Reddit thread, commenters mentioned mixed results with early Bazzite installs. One user said a recent patch fixed Wi-Fi issues, while others reported poor audio quality, sleep resume crashes, and rear button functions not working. So, the GDP Win 5 is not a handheld that we have really covered on the channel yet. During CES, I actually got blasted by a few of you guys for not covering it because it was at CES. And I didn't cover it because it wasn't announced. It had been announced a couple months ago. But it is a super high-end PC handheld. It's thousands of dollars. but it is super powerful with the Strix Halo chips in it. And so I think a lot of people are going to be excited to get the hell off of Windows and be able to use Linux and SteamOS and Bazzite and whatever you want to use. So the support is actually there now, or coming, or being worked on, in progress, that kind of stuff. So if you have a GDP Win 5, let me know in the comments down below, because I really don't know how many of these are out in the wild. I mean, we're talking about, you could buy like a super powerful, like just desktop PC for that kind of money. So I really don't know how many of those that there have sold. But hey, if you are listening or watching the video, drop me a comment or write into the show. I'd love to hear about your experience with the GDP Win 5, because I have zero experience with it. Hey, GDP, if you would like to send one over, hey, go ahead, send it over to the show. We'll check it out. But yeah, so that's super cool. It's nice to see another device getting Linux support. And everybody's gonna be excited to put Bazzite, SteamOS, stuff like that. And I think just as we go, especially into putting SteamOS on more and more devices, I would like to see Valve focus a little bit more on making sure the experience is as perfect as it is on Steam Deck. Because I'll tell you, I've been going for my Legion Go S a lot lately because it runs SteamOS. Just the immediate pop on and play is so great on the SteamOS Legion Go S. And I do run into issues with it a lot, with like just weird bugs, like audio bugs. Like there'll be a lot of times where, you sleep wake it and then the audio is gone, and like you had to switch into desktop mode and like find the volume for the Chrome browser, which somehow got muted. I don't even know how that happened, but it did, and you had to go fix it. So, just weird issues like that. Or I definitely have a lot of times I have like audio popping and crackling on it, which is, it just hit or miss. I mean, it's like usually you close the game or reboot it or whatever. Most of the time I have to reboot it to fix stuff like that on the Legion Go S with SteamOS. So I would really like to see Valve focus a little bit more on making the SteamOS platform, as it spreads to more and more devices, just a little bit more stable. And not to say that the Legion Go S SteamOS model is not stable. I mean, it is very stable, but it's just, it has a few bugs and quirks to it that the Steam Deck, that I just don't encounter with it on the Steam Deck. So, and just even weird things like, so on the Steam Deck, I can sleep it and it'll let me continue downloading games. But on the Legion Go S, if I sleep it, it just goes to sleep. Why? Come on, Valve, get with it. Okay, so that is going to wrap up the news portion of the show. So we're going to get into what we're playing and what I'm playing, and I would love to hear about what you're playing right now. So please write into the show, leave me a comment down below, or write into the email if you prefer. Let me know what you're playing it on, what kind of frame rates or settings you're using on the game you're playing, the experience you're having. Be part of the show. I would love that. And you might let me know about a game, or you might be able to sell me on a game that maybe I hadn't considered playing or wasn't going to play. So definitely please do that right into the show and let me know what you're playing. As for what I'm playing, obviously I finished up a Chronos: The New Dawn, and great game. I can't recommend that enough. If you're even a little bit into survival horror games, you should just go ahead and just buy it. It's awesome. I absolutely loved it. The other game that I am playing is, and I'm actually finished now, is Echoes of the End. And Echoes of the End, I featured a little bit on the channel, and it is a third-person action, like a linear action game. Really, it's kind of a throwback to your PS3, your 360 era type linear story-driven type game. So like think about, it's just the best way for me to communicate the type of game. It's kind of like the Uncharted or the Tomb Raiders. It's certainly not up to those levels, but it is from a small studio called, I think they're called Merkur Games, and it is their very first game. And I think it actually is super high quality for their first game. The graphics and everything look great. It looks like, I don't remember seeing like what engine they use. It certainly looks to me like an Unreal Engine 5 game, but I thought it ran great on the PS5 Pro. I mostly played it remote play on PS5 Pro. on the Legion Go 2 and the Legion Go S were the two main ones that I was playing it on, and played great on both of those. Obviously, remote play, use PX Play. Really like that app, and it seems like there's more and more of these remote play apps coming out, and some of them are starting to include the cloud streaming, which I didn't know Sony was allowing. So we'll kind of see how that goes with some of those new apps that are coming out. Maybe we'll cover those on the channel at some point. So if you're interested or curious about those, let me know in the comments. But yeah, Echoes of the End. Yeah, think about those type of games, right? It's it's a chapter-based game. So there's like 10 chapters. Every chapter is just like, hey, you're moving forward through a section of the environment, and you're gonna hit like, okay, here's a combat section. You'll do your combat, and then you can like kind of look around to see like maybe there's like an environmental puzzle or something to go solve. But yeah, it's like combat, and then there'll be like maybe a small puzzle, and then there'll be a platforming area, and then maybe another combat area, a puzzle area, a platforming area. And so this is a Ryan-ass game. I love games like this. I would say the combat is it's fun, and it gets more fun the more abilities you get, but it's not setting the world on fire. It's not doing anything new or doing anything super crazy. Some of the controls are a little bit janky. Like you can have powers, like there'll be like barrels and rocks and stuff in the world, or you can even do this with enemies where you can basically like grab them and fling them. So you can grab a rock and like fling it at an enemy, or you can like grab another enemy and like either pull them towards you to hit them, or you could like take them and fling them at another enemy and they'll hit and kind of fall down. But they mapped the control for that to the stick for movement. So maybe it's just me, maybe I'm too old for this kind of crap, but it's like it just made it really hard to control it because you had to stop moving because you're like trying to fling it a certain direction. I don't know. I just didn't like the implementation of how it worked. I would have much preferred just like, okay, let me like pull the trigger to hold it or something and let it like kind of auto target as I move the stick around, and then let go and then let it fling it at him. I think would have been a better control scheme for it. But there's a lot of other stuff mapped to different buttons like combos and different things that you can get unlock different abilities. There are like 4 skill trees. So like throughout the whole game, there's a companion there the entire time. And so like you have a skill tree for your companion that kind of like levels up their powers. I didn't put any points into that one at all. I actually leveled up the other 3 areas, which were like, combat focused, magic focused. And the more of those you get, just kind of like the more different abilities and different like combos and stuff you get. And it really kind of it turns the combat into like, you're just kind of having fun after you get like more powerful, because, the threat of dying, I did die a few times and, here and there, mostly just from being careless. But, you different abilities you can get. Like there's always like a lot of times you'll go into an enemy area and there's like, it'll throw a bunch of enemies at you. So maybe there's like, I don't know, between 5 and 10 enemies. And, you got some of them have a shield, some of them just have swords. So like you have your weaker ones, your stronger ones. And then you got ones that are like kind of far out, or like maybe they're up on a tower and they're like throwing like kind of like fireballs or whatever at you. So it kind of just throws a bunch of stuff at you and just like kind of lets you have at it. And you can get different abilities. So like one of the ones I didn't actually get it to the end of the game. I was like, I should have got this earlier, was like you could parry the fireballs that were coming at you and shoot it back at them. So I wish I would have got that sooner in the game. But yeah, the combat, there's a parry system. You can parry or dodge. Has a very a pretty generous parrying window. It's not like hard like Dark Souls or anything like that. But so there's a parry window, which is fun and always pretty satisfying to do that. And you can get different abilities too. Like so like you have a few like you can get different outfits. So like you collect these different things throughout the game. I forget what they're called. They're just like blue orbs basically, and they're just like here and there all over the place. And you can use those to buy different outfits. And outfits are just set dressing. They don't do anything, but when you buy the outfit, you get like different trinkets that you can like equip, and you can equip 2 at a time. And like one of them you can get, it gives you like a 30% bigger parry window. So even if you have a hard time with the parrying, you can like just equip that and get like a way bigger parry window. So it has a lot of just different ways that you can kind of customize your combat experience. The combat doesn't really progress too much in terms of like, it mostly just throws more and more enemies at you. Later in the game, it'll throw a few different types of enemies at you. But like, I kind of thought like one of the ones that they threw at you later in the game was like way easier than the ones earlier. And maybe I was just way more powerful. And then the final levels, there's like, again, a few more different variations of enemies, but the combat doesn't really change too much. The platforming does get and the platforming and the puzzling kind of gets like, more and more, I would say, involved or difficult. And then like the platforming kind of does that as well. So like, and you'll start to involve like maybe platforming in your puzzle solving too. So it's just a fun game though. If you like those type of games, like your Uncharted or your Tomb Raiders, don't expect those level of games. But I think what you'll find is I thought it was a fairly well polished experience. It was a good experience from start to finish. If you don't like the voice acting and banter in that first level, just get past that first level, because I think it does get better after that. The story didn't really do much for me. I didn't really care for the story. I thought it was kind of a throwaway story, and it does throw a lot of like different fantasy, words and terms at you at the beginning, and it's just kind of like, this is all kind of like glossed over me. So the story for me didn't hit, but I had a lot of fun in the game. It took me about 15 hours or so to complete. Game is very stingy with trophies. I only got like one trophy through a lot of the playthrough. And then I finally started getting a lot more trophies in the second half of the game. And a lot of the trophies are like doing specific things. So I think they are kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to go back and platinum it or not. Since I started the channel, it's just like, times at a premium. It takes a lot of time to do all these videos for you guys, and especially this show is a lot with the research and then with the editing and stuff like that. So not to make excuses, but I'm trying to let myself not platinum every game or get all the trophies for every game that I play anymore, just to try to be able to move on and have other games to talk about for you guys. So I'm definitely still going to complete games. Now, there might be a time, so like on the channel this week, another game that I'm playing is MIO, which is Memories in Orbit, which is a really a newer, or it's a brand new, came out this week, a Metroidvania. And it has kind of like a hand-drawn, kind of cel-shaded art style. And if you're curious about that game, I did a first 30 minutes video on the channel Wednesday, so you can go check that out if you like. And my initial takeaway from it is, yeah, it's a Metroidvania. Some of the reviews online said it is difficult. I don't know. I mean, I can kind of see that it might be, because you really don't get much health, and it was like 2 hits and you're dead. The thing that I didn't like was that in that first 30 minutes of gameplay, I didn't encounter any additional save points at all. And I did kind of run all over, and now I did die a couple times, so that takes a few minutes away each time, and that's kind of the point, right? It's like I like a little bit more sporadic save points in Metroidvania, so that way I'm not like spending 10 minutes exploring and going and going and going and going, and then dying, and then now I'm back at the beginning, and I gotta like go do it all again. It's a little bit irritating for me. I don't mind backtracking. I really like Metroidvanias. I just don't like whenever they don't give you a save points often enough, because I don't like having to just like, okay, die, and I'm going to go back to the same spot I was. That's just the way that I play those. And maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe you're like, okay, fine, I'll go this way, I'll go that way, whatever. But like, no, if I die in a Metroidvania, I'm like, I'm going right back where I was. So it's literally from the time I get there to the time I get to wherever I was. It's just, to me, it's just like a waste of time. It's like a lost time. So there's my little old man rant about wasting players' time in games. Don't do that. But maybe it's just not for me. So I don't know if I'm going to keep playing it or not. Probably not. I've got a couple other games that I'm thinking about playing. I don't think. The other game that I'm playing is, you'll see some videos on the channel coming up soon. Final Fantasy VII Remake just came out for the Nintendo Switch 2 today, and I believe Xbox got it as, I don't know if it just came out today or if it got an update today. I don't really remember. Ever since I kind of left the Xbox ecosystem, I don't keep up with it as much. As you guys know, I was an Xbox player from the original Xbox pretty much to I had a Series X, and I just got fed up, and I was like, I'm going full. I've always had all the systems, but I was like, no, PlayStation is going to be my primary platform going forward. So it kind of has been for the last several years. So in any case, what else am I playing? Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake. As I'm recording this, I literally just got on the iPad here. I saw the the Ring camera downstairs that looks like Amazon made a delivery. So that's my Final Fantasy VII Remake for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I will, as soon as I get done with this, I'll probably start filming that. So I can get those filmed and up for you guys on the channel. So we're going to do some versus videos on that. I'll probably just do like, probably because I have a full platinum run on PlayStation, but I don't have a save on obviously Xbox or Nintendo. So what I will probably do for the verses is just do like first 30 minutes, probably first 30 minutes is probably what we'll do since we've got a lot of different devices to do it on. So I'll probably do it. You'll probably see videos for the first one will probably be Nintendo Switch 2 versus maybe Steam Deck or maybe the Legion Go 2. I'm not sure which one will go up first. And then we'll also do maybe a Legion Go S. So I don't know if we're going to do all of those or not. So let me know in the comments below which ones you guys would like to see the most as far as that goes. Because it'll be interesting to see how it runs on the Nintendo Switch 2 compared to these PC handhelds. I did check it out briefly on one of the PC handhelds. I think it was on Legion Go 2, and it does not give you a ton of options. So we'll see how they stack up to each other. So definitely look forward to that on the channel. And with that, we will get into the final segment of the show, which is listener inquiries. So I'm going to pull a couple of comments out from the comments of last week's show, and we'll read them on here and respond to them. All right, so I'm just going to pick a couple of comments out from the channel this week and kind of showcase those and reply to them on the air. This one came in on the Arc Raiders Portal video, and it's really fun, running this channel because I'm learning like all kinds of new terms. A couple weeks ago was chop. Today it's goop, apparently. And so this one comes to us from Supreme G Bear. And Supreme G Bear said, I use my portal to organize my goop in Speranza in the comfort of my own bed and also for goop runs. And so I just replied, like, what the hell is goop? I probably should have been able to guess what it was. And he responded that it is loot. Of course, it's loot. So goop is loot. Goop runs. So that's a new one for me. Super appreciate that. And let's give him an LOL on there or reply right away here. Okay. And let's see here. The next question, or the next comment highlight, this one came to us on the unboxing video for the Expedition 33 music box video, and they had said, hey, weird question. This came to us from @JOJIOOH, and they said, weird question, did the music box just start playing as soon as you wound it? I just got mine and wound the key and there's no sound coming out at all. I wondered if I missed something obvious. Now, I didn't show it in the video, but your comment did jog my memory, and I think whenever I did and the reason why it's not on video is I did the whole freaking video and I didn't hit record. I didn't hit record. Oh, what a pain. It was so awful. So if you'll notice in that unboxing video, when I take the lid off, you'll notice the styrofoam. You can see it's already been cut. And that's because I already did the whole damn thing. I had to put it all back together and redo it. It was like a total nightmare. So anyway, and that first time that I did it, I wound the key. I remember winding the key and like nothing happening. And I was like, oh, did I get a broken one? I already got this up here, this Death Stranding Death Stranding collector's edition for the first game I bought last year, still sealed. And when I finally opened it to display on this shelf up here, my BP was broken, man. It's broken inside. So I thought I maybe got a broken music box, but I just kept twisting it, and I didn't go too far. So I wasn't gonna, I was like, I don't want to break it. So I did twist it a couple more times, and then it did start going. So, hey, just give it a little bit of more tender twisting, and hopefully it will start working for you. If you're watching this and that was your comment, definitely let me know. Did you wind it a little bit more and it started working? I hope it did, because it's a really cool collectible. And I'm a sucker for music boxes. You saw those on the channel this week. I did a Death Stranding little short, and I did one for the Expedition 33 as well. I don't know. I don't think anybody even watched them. So if you watch them, appreciate it. Okay, so let's see. Let's pick another comment out here from the channel this week. Okay, and this is actually from an older video, but man, it still consistently gets views. So I probably should make some more videos like this. This came to us from the Legion Go Still Worth It in 2025 video. And this comes to us from at Eddie-YD8OP. And Eddie wrote in and said, just ordered one, like literally. Can't wait to play it. I'm going to get a new 81 watt hour battery and take it to my local tech shop for them to install because I'm too scared to do that myself, but I'm super geeked. Well, Eddie, hey, congratulations on the Legion Go purchase. I'm just going to tell you up front, Legion Go is like why I just kind of like fell in love with handheld devices, and one of the reasons why I've been doing this channel is I absolutely love the Legion Go 1. I still think in many ways I like it better than the Legion Go 2. That's why I still haven't brought myself to sell it. I probably should go ahead and sell it, but it's just so good, man. That 1600p screen is so awesome. And you guys know I'm a traditional console gamer, and so I do a lot of remote play, and that 1600p screen is sick for remote play. So like, even though like on PlayStation, if you do, the max is 1080p, well, if you really crank that bit rate up, you can get a super sharp picture, and then you can use like lossless scaling to upscale it to 1600p, and it just looks like absolutely awesome. And I just saw on the Reddit for PX Play that the Windows version is very soon going to get the 4K upscaling. So that's going to be another benefit of the Legion Go 1600p screen for you PlayStation players out there that like to do remote play. Your remote play experience on PX Play is about to get better on the Legion Go because you'll be able to upscale from 1080p to 1600p basically in the app itself without having to like buy lossless scaling or try to fuss with having bouncing back and forth to get them running or whatever, which lossless scaling is great, love it too, but you won't have to do that. So that's super cool that is coming soon. So shout out to PX Play, absolutely love the app, highly recommend it. We've got some videos on the channel, still get tons of views on those every single day, so I know a lot of you guys are interested in that. And so, Eddie, thank you so much for writing in. Good luck with the battery swap. I recommend it to you. I don't know if you saw the reply, but I just bought like an Anker. That's like I think it's like a 10,000 milliwatt ampere or whatever battery. And it has like the retractable cable. It's like a brick, but it's small enough that you can still carry it around with you if you need to. Like I always just plugged it in. I was like, I'm not fussing with swapping that battery out. I'll just plug it in if I need to. And that suited me totally fine. And I didn't have to worry about getting a bad install or battery bloat or, having to replace the back plate or anything like that. So, and okay, so we'll go ahead and we're coming up, pretty close to the top of the hour here. And I've got to still get this thing edited and shoot some other videos, and I don't really have a whole lot of time, so we'll go ahead and start wrapping up this video. I'll go ahead and find one more comment from the channel this week and read it. But hey, if you want to guarantee you get read on the show, definitely drop a comment in today's video, or if you use that email, I guarantee you get read on the show if you would like to. So definitely do that. Let's find one more comment here. And this one comes to us from at UHTRED11, and this was on the best handheld PC 2025 tier list video. And they said, first time on your channel, mate, great video. After doing some research, I went with the Legion Go S Z1 Extreme OS here in the UK. I just want to be able to play all the different games available, not really fuss with the FPS crap as long as the game is playable. Battery life is not a concern as I will only be playing exclusively at home. Should receive it next month. Looking forward to it. Hey, congratulations on the Legion Go S purchase. I have been grabbing that Legion Go S a lot more. It is a really good device. I think the ergonomics on it are excellent. They're not the best on the market, but I think they are really great. It's super comfortable. It's plenty lightweight. And I like it because running Steam OS, man, it's just like I have the D brand kill switch on it. So like I just pop the cover off, hit the power button, boom, it's on. And I am like gaming like lickety split. So, and that Z1 Extreme, I think it holds up super well. And if you got the 32 gig model, which I hope you did, you'll have really no problems. You'll be able to pretty much play whatever you want. And if, you basically said that you don't really care about the FPS as long as it's playable. So most games you'll be able to run even at 30 FPS. You'll be able to find some settings to at least get that on most games. So I think you're going to be totally fine. I think you're going to absolutely enjoy it. And hey, this is a good time just to thank everybody for watching the channel, for subscribing, for checking out the show every week. It continues to grow and gain momentum. The channel does. So we're up to almost 1,000 subscribers. So if you know anybody that is into these handheld devices, is interested in like the industry news about handhelds or just gaming in general, obviously talking about games, we like to do that too, which is kind of like what I like to do in my videos. There's tons of like just straight up benchmark videos or like, use these setting videos. And when we first started the channel, I tried to do a lot of that, but I just didn't really have fun doing that. So I was like, I really wanted to bring a little bit something different in this little, niche, handheld gaming niche. And, still kind of show you the games, show you them running side by side, similar settings, stuff like that. But also talk about the games, maybe show you some games that you haven't played or maybe you hadn't thought about playing, like Echoes of the End, I guarantee. I mean, I don't think anybody on the channel has probably played that. If you have, I would love to hear about your experience. And if you haven't, I urge you to check it out because I think it's a super fun game. And so maybe I convince you to check it out. And so that's what I like when I listen to gaming podcasts. I like to hear about people's experience playing games and playing different games that maybe I wouldn't play. And, the way that they kind of, articulate and talk about them sometimes gets me to be like, maybe I should give that a try. And then I'll kind of go outside of my comfort zone and find a new game that I really enjoy playing. So yeah, so if you know anybody that is interested in games and likes handheld gaming stuff or just likes gaming in general, again, you guys know I'm a traditional console gamer, so I'm gonna do a lot of talking about like PlayStation and Xbox and stuff like that too, because I still do most of my gaming on the PS5 via remote play. Obviously I do still try to play some of these games native on handheld too, so that way I can properly showcase them for you guys. Yeah, so if you know anybody, please share the channel with them. Get them to hit the subscribe button. Obviously, that's totally free. If you would like to support the show, if you become a member, that will directly help the channel, which will be absolutely awesome. You certainly don't have to do that, but you do get all the videos early. So basically, as soon as the edit's done and I upload them, and YouTube does its thing and processes it, it becomes available to you right away. So you get this podcast earlier than early, which is good. So usually Thursday night sometime. The other videos, sometimes you get them days early. So like when I do versus videos, sometimes I can get those edits done quicker. Sometimes not, just depends on like what's going on in my life and my work schedule and everything else. So, but there's been times where I put up a video maybe a week before it went live. So if you're a member, you are able to watch those absolutely immediately if you would like to do that. And there's a private Discord as well that you could take advantage of if you become a member as well, which gives you just direct access to me. So it's just like a private chat room, whatever kind of a deal. We've got like different threads in there that you can talk about. Like if you're into PlayStation, you can talk about that. If you're into Xbox, you can talk about that. If you're specifically like, hey, I'm an ROG Ally guy, there's a thread for that. So I would love to see some of you guys in there. So if you would like to help support the show, that's a great way to do it. Again, you certainly don't have to do it, but it would be super appreciated. If you're still watching this, hey, thank you. And I'm going to be, just to let you guys know, I'm going to be trying to upgrade some stuff, kind of give you guys some better quality on the videos, especially audio quality is like my next big focus. You can see I kind of added to the set a little bit here today, kind of changed it, rearranged. I moved the lights over here and had this new little light wall, which I thought it would be cooler than it is. It's okay. I thought I'd be able to do more stuff with it with like GIFs and be able to like, if I needed to do like a standing talking head video, maybe I could do it in front of that and you could have some kind of like cool design going on, but it's not quite as cool as I thought it would be. But hey, it's still LED lights and we're gamers, so we like LED lights, right? Yeah, of course we do. So anyway, it kind of gives us a kind of a cool set. So yeah, I've got some new audio equipment coming that I was able to find what I think are some really nice devices and good deals through like eBay and stuff like that. So hopefully by next week's video, you will notice a difference in the audio quality. I do my best to try to make this as good as possible already, and I think it does sound decent, but since we're doing this as a podcast now, I really want it to sound like a podcast. And I really think that will help the other videos on the channel as well if I just raise the audio fidelity and the audio quality of the voice recordings. And I'm not sure, but I think it even helps like take out like breaths and stuff like that, or if I accidentally like bump the microphone or something like that, which sometimes you'll hear me on a video like, especially when I'm doing voiceovers, I'm like the worst at it because I'm recording the voiceover, but I'm also like watching the video. And sometimes I like need to pause and take a breath or whatever, or just like compose my thoughts because I'm rambling too much or whatever, which that's pretty much what I do. So anyway, I'm rambling right now. But so like what I'll do sometimes is like I should hit the pause button on the microphone and then hit the pause button on the video, but you'll often hear me like hit the space bar, which you can hear it right there probably. And so you can hear those in the video sometimes. I'm like, when I do the edit, I'm like, damn it. But the goal is I really want to try to keep getting better and better at the podcasting too, to also make it a little less daunting on the edits, is like the edits are really kind of super time consuming, like to do the all the, the kind of layovers for the video, which I think you'll see in this week's video. I didn't do any pictures or images. I hope that's okay. If that's a deal breaker for you, let me know in the comments down below and I can keep doing those. But I did still keep when I read the news stories, I still highlight those as text with the people who wrote the articles. At the end of the day, I don't know if that stuff's important to you guys or not, or even, I try to highlight that for the people who wrote the articles, but if I could just do a straight podcast and eliminate the extra work that goes into the edits, it would just be like a much bigger relief. Like right now, there's a lot of stress between gathering all the news stories. Wednesdays coming up is usually I really got to try to shoot it on Wednesday. I'm actually doing it on Thursday because I had a little bit of time tonight to do it, but and you've got a timeline, right? So you've got to get the news of the day. So like I'm filming this like pretty much right after the Xbox show, and I didn't get any of that stuff in the news today, which it doesn't really matter for handhelds. I mean, I could cover that. Would you guys like me to cover that? It's just a gaming video showcase, and there has been a couple that have happened since I started the show. So if you're interested and you want me to talk about that, like just a video game showcase, or if you would want me to do a reaction video or live reaction videos or whatever, the setup that I'm trying to get going will be a little bit more conducive of that. So if that's something that you guys want to see, write into the show or let me know in the comments. Because really I'm trying to make this, trying to build a community with you guys. And I want to make the stuff that you guys care about. And so that way you have, something to listen to or something to watch, a few times a week, and a podcast that's, at least an hour long. Do we need a co-host? Does it need to be longer? Do you want to have multiple opinions? That kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm working on, is improving the podcasting setup to where, if we want to try to have a guest and that we are more able to do that, maybe I can have my, computer in here and, be able to like do, virtual, whatever. So this stuff's all for you guys. So just let me know in the comments below what you guys would like to see. And, hey, I reworked the graphics a little bit, so it's a little bit more professional on the intro graphics and the intro music. Let me know if you guys like that. And there's coming up here, once I stop rambling, there'll be a little outro video with a little thank you. So if you are a hardcore member of the channel, if you're a member, you might get a little thank you here in the outro. So that's it. Again, I'm Blame It on Ryan, your host. Handheld Rewind, a weekly handheld gaming podcast. We'll be back next week with a new show, cover all the news of the week, cover the games that I've been playing them, how I've been playing them, and hopefully I'll be able to read some of your guys' inquiries. So definitely write into the show about any kind of news stories related to handhelds that you would like to, or just about games you're playing. And, we can kind of continue to build this community together. So with all that being said, we will see you next week.